Duh.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it that on a Friday or on a Thursday or Wednesday or Tuesday or Monday, it does not matter who the host is. Yeah, it surely doesn't. Anyways, how are you? Today is Friday, September the 20th of 2024, day 264th of the year, and only 102 days remaining. So when we get back next week, because I won't be here over the weekend, we'll be talking about double digits. Yeah, double digits. I'm going to tell you, before you even blink, you're going to notice that it's over with. Anyways, so we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there. Radio. Yes, we are hanging out with our friends at Radio Big.FM. I love hanging out over there because we do hour 1 here, but then we do hour 2 and 3. Let's do that number 3. Hour 2 and 3 on that other side of the equation, where we talk about music, we talk about entertainment, we talk a little bit about everything that is going on. So let's talk real quick. If you're not familiar with our show is about safety and the news. So news and safety. Now here's what happens. On Fridays, normally Monday through Thursday, we give you a main story and all that kind of fun stuff. But on Fridays, I try to grab everything that we miss during the week, and then we kind of give it to you all. Give you everything. Everything that I got, I just give it to you. That's how it goes. So I give you everything that we got that we might have missed out in. So it's kind of a cluster of everything. So that's kind of the way that it works. If you want to interact with the show, callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. That'll get you moving and grooving inside of our system here. Video, audio, and text messaging. I normally respond to the text messaging ones. So the text messaging ones are the best ones. Some people will go, well, I can just text you or send you a message on social media. Yeah, you can do that, but I'm probably not going to see it until afterwards because you've seen some of my screen settings because I've shown it to you, but it's not something that I go digging for of like, oh my God, Joe Smell posted this on Facebook. And now I need to be excited. Oh, somebody posted this on Twitch, so now I should... Not what I do. Yeah, we used to have, some kind of concurrent shit going on where people would be posting and we would be trying to respond. And I was like, I'm lost. Because remember, radio show first, podcast next, and then we kind of do the streaming stuff. And I'm talking about the video streaming. So if you have one of those fancy dancy podcatchers, we are podcatching in real time, meaning that right now you could be listening to us live, meaning that it is streaming on your Podcatcher 2.0 version in real time. So I don't know how it all works, but all I know is it sounds like I'm cannibalizing the radio station. I'm just saying. So there you go. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we do this? Let's start talking about what in the hell was trending in the overnight, because I always think that is super important
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I look at the trend of the end, a zoo in China fesses up to painting panda pups, and a luxury yacht, yes, sinks after a fire. We'll talk about that as we get into the shit list. Also, Pharrell doesn't do politics, and Eric Roberts apologized for past comments. Oh my God, if I sat around and apologized for past comments, I would kind of be going crazy. Also, the first slew of hosts and musical cast for season 50 of SNL are on the verge of, being announced, or if they weren't already. And also, King Charles needs someone to tend to his flock. So, is it a flock of seagulls? I don't know, but it's a flock of something. That's for sure. Anyway, so there you go. So if you are ready for the ride, make sure that you kind of grab on, sit down, and hang on, because I will tell you, we are going to be coming to the end here of this whole thing in 53 minutes and change. But remember, it might be the end, but it's definitely not an exit. So keep that in mind as we are talking. Yeah, I know. So with that being said, I have my friends at Feature Story News waiting to talk to you. So if you're good, I'm good, and let's do that. Let's get into some feature story news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Israel's military says its air force hit around 100 Hezbollah rocket launchers and other infrastructure in overnight airstrikes on Lebanon. It follows a remote attack targeting pagers and walkie-talkies this week, which Hezbollah has blamed on Israel. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy is calling for an immediate ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah.
We are all very, very clear that we want to see a negotiated political settlement so that Israelis can return to their homes in northern Israel, and indeed Lebanese can return to their homes.
Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah has blamed Israel for the attacks targeting electronic devices, calling them a massacre that crossed a red line. European Union and Chinese trade representatives have agreed to intensify efforts to resolve a dispute over electric vehicles. The EU imposed tariffs of up to 35% on EVs from China, accusing Beijing of imposing unfair subsidies and flooding the European market. William Denzelo reports from Brussels.
According to a European Commission spokesperson, Europe's Trade Commissioner reaffirmed that its investigation into Chinese EVs is fact-based and in full compliance with World Trade Organization rules. China says the tariffs on its electric vehicles is a protectionist policy that will harm Europe's green transition. Beijing subsequently launched probes into European brandy, dairy and pork markets. Commission officials say that move is unwarranted and lacks sufficient evidence. European powers will soon vote on whether to make the EV tariffs permanent for the next 5 years. Against that backdrop, China and the EU trade delegations have agreed to put maximum effort towards finding a mutually agreeable solution.
Doctors in the East Indian city of Kolkata who've been protesting over the brutal rape and murder of a young medic there will partially resume service this weekend after a 41-day strike. They say some of their demands have been met, but their broader fight for justice continues until perpetrators are punished. Ishan Garg reports.
The junior doctors will resume emergency services after the West Bengal state government agreed to a majority of their demands. It included better safety protocols in hospitals and transferring government officials who are being accused of negligence in the wake of the sexual assault case in August. The doctors say they are not yet resuming all medical services, but will set up medical camps in the state that's battling flood-like situations. The rape of a young medic in the East Indian city of Kolkata had sparked nationwide outrage. The Federal Investigative Agency has arrested who they call the main accused and says an investigation is on. The doctors say they could be forced to agitate again if the perpetrators are not punished soon.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, rounding out the week with a bombshell in the world of business. Tupperware, the iconic American producer of plastic food containers that found instant popularity from the 1950s onwards, has filed for bankruptcy protection amid slumping sales and mounting losses. The company first found fortune by persuading its salespeople, often American housewives themselves, to host Tupperware parties where they would engage in efforts to sell the company's products to their friends and neighbours. But the world has moved on, according to Maggie Harrop, the owner of Tupperware World, the largest retailer of the products in the UK.
It's surprising, but not surprising in a way, because I know we used to have Tupperware parties and everything, but since the COVID times, the method of sales is more into online, and obviously because there is the younger generations doesn't really know what Tupperware is. It's like, oh, my mom used to have Tupperware and things like that. So it's like, oh, my cupboard is actually still full of Tupperware products that belongs to my parents and things like that.
The company is straining under $812 million in debt. Lenders pushed the company into the arms of bankruptcy administrators in the United States. It plans to continue operating and will, over the next 30 days, seek a buyer to lead Tupperware into the future, if it can find one. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, Israel says it's hit around 100 Hezbollah targets in overnight airstrikes on Lebanon. Hezbollah's chief Hassan Nasrallah has blamed Israel for attacks on electronic devices, saying they crossed a red line. EU and Chinese trade representatives have agreed to intensify efforts to resolve a dispute over EVs, and Indian doctors in Kolkata who've been protesting over the rape and murder of a young medic will partially resume service this weekend. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacky? Safety trainers still training in warped versions. How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers, extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Here is another bit for our competitors to copy. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so there you go. 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely, yes, it's so lovely Friday as we are going. Anyway, so let's talk about it. So are you ready for this? Americans will soon be able to renew their passports online. The service will allow Americans to pay to upload a photo to apply to completely online. No need to appear in person to send documents through the mail. The Assistant Secretary for State of Consular Affairs announced it will be available to adults looking to renew a regular 10-year passport that has expired within the past 5 years or expires in the coming year. Also, it will be available 24/7. This is according to CNN. So here's my question. Is the DMV listening? I mean, I'm just asking because maybe, we should combine some of this stuff. It would be interesting to see if the DMV did some of these things. I mean, luckily, and I will say luckily, I am in one of those weird states that they do stuff that allows you to, do some things in regards of doing stuff online opposed to having going in person because nobody wants to go to the DMV either. I'm just throwing that out there. So there you go. So would you think you would use the service? I mean, I think I would use the service for sure. I mean, I was already contemplating going, do I need to renew my my passport? Because if I do, I think I have an option on what I'm going to do next. That's for sure. Anyways, take a listen to this. In other passport news, a family from Britain almost missed out on their Dominican Republic on their trip to Dominican Republic because of their love of Star Wars. Christian Baway applied for a passport for his whole family, only to find out that his son had been denied. The issues being that the boy's name was Loki Skywalker Mabray. Britain's Home Office, which is in charge of immigration, security, and law and order, denied the boy's passport, claiming that it couldn't print Skywalker because of Disney's copyright law. The family said that they had no idea that the name could be a problem, and there had been no issues in the past 7 years. Eventually, the passport was issued, and the family will soon leave for their vacation. By the way, the only Mabray family, huge Star Wars fans, Loki Skywalker was born on May the 4th, a.k.a. Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. May the 4th be with you. Interesting. Loki? So this means they're a Marvel fan as well. So Loki Skywalker And if you take a look around the whole thing, I mean, shit, Disney? I mean, they must really be in love with Disney overall. And so you gave them a villain name and then Skywalker? Shit. I mean, depending on which Skywalker you fell for, it could get very interesting as we are talking. So listen to this. Hershey, is entering the wellness category, landing a deal with C4 Energy. The 130-year-old confectionery company is looking to create some chocolate and Reese's peanut butter protein powder and Jolly Rancher flavored energy drinks. A pre-workout powder based on Bubble Yum Gum will also be introduced. Down the line, C4 has already focused on using Skittles, Starburst, popsicle flavor energy drinks. So I guess be on the lookout for some other yummy stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of interesting that, we're talking about C4 this morning because I'm over here throwing down a Starburst one. And I'm not lying. I mean, I'm not saying that definitely they are not a sponsor of the show. But, man, it is definitely something to talk about. I don't know. Interesting as we are talking. Anyways, take a listen to this. The China Zoo has I guess they have finally confessed to painting puppies to look like pandas. The Stricky initially came to light earlier this year when visitors questioned why one of the pandas appeared to be painting on a rock while another was barking. Initially, the zoo said the animals were bred with panda dogs, but later fessed up that they dyed two chow chows black and white. This is according to New York Post. So hold on. I just want to make sure that I understand this. You have a zoo, and you turned around and you said, oh, yeah, in this zoo, we have some pandas that you might potentially confuse as dogs. I mean, that's legitimately what has just happened here. And you thought that somebody was really going to believe it. Believe that. I mean, that's kind of a weird one.
Duh.
When you kind of really start thinking about the whole thing. I mean, I'm just saying. So there you go. Okay, listen to this. A 120-foot luxury yacht sank on the coast of Los Angeles week after fireworks set off from the deck caused an explosion. Yeah, 2 people were on board at the time, as well as over 1,000 rounds of ammunition. Authorities say that the 2 boaters were able to escape with only minor injuries and a huge hurt to their pride. Firefighters did their best to put out the blaze, but too much damage had already been done. It took the ship about 2 hours to fully submerge after the fire started. The investigation into the incident is now underway, though authorities are pretty sure that they know what occurred in regards of the damage. I mean, yeah, it sounds like it if you're looking at it. So there you go. Why is the Daily News all of a sudden acting all weird? I don't know. So there you go. Some interesting stuff as we are talking. Okay, what else is going on? Let's talk about this. Drummer Kenny Heislip has died. He passed away on September the 15th after being ill for some time. No further details was given. He had been a member of Simple Minds since 1981. He was 73 at the time of his passing. So there you go. Who is this? Pop star Charlie Puth tied the knot with digital marketing and PR coordinator Brooke Sanson earlier this month. He's 32 and she's 24. Why are we finding this out? The ceremony was held in a family home in Montecito, California. The pair currently are honeymooning in Italy. Hold on. So if they got married earlier this month and they're still honeymooning, why the hell are you ruining stuff for people? In regards to letting people know where they were honeymooning, or did something go down and this is how people found out that they were honeymooning in Italy? I'm just asking the question. Don't hold me for that. I'm just asking. Just want to understand. Better understanding of these things, that they're important. Anyways, take a listen to this. The Dow gained about 522 points to close at 42,025 on Thursday. The NASDAQ, nope, that's a lie. The S&P increased by 95 points to close at 5,713. The NASDAQ increased by 440 points to close at 18,013. West Texas Intermediate closed at $72 a barrel, and Brent crude closed at $74 a barrel. A national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.22 on Thursday. Bitcoin gained on Thursday, trading just around 63,126, and there was more than 3,090 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Thursday, with about 73, that's 73, cancellations. Tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for $47 million jackpot or a $23.9 million cash payout. Saturday night's Powerball drawing will be for, $195 million jackpot or a $99.1 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, it is definitely time to do so. So there you go. There you go. Interesting things as we are talking. So there you go. Let's continue talking a little bit more. Take a listen to this. The body cam footage from Justin Timberlake's DWI arrest will not be made public, according to the Salford County District Attorney. Both prosecutors and the singer attorney agreed to keep the footage sealed. JT pleaded guilty last week to a lesser charge of driving while impaired. As a result, he will serve 25 hours community service and appear on a PSA warning people of against drinking and driving. This is according to TMZ. So what do you think? I'm just asking because, listen, I'm not picking on Justin Timberlake. Whatever, dude. I mean, there's some music of his that I like. I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. But you know, and I know, that if you would have got pulled over, and if I would have got pulled over, this would not be the conversation that we're having. It would be suspended license, no PSA, no 25 hours community service. It would have been potentially going to the pokey. Okay, maybe not that severe. But going, to one of these things where it's not going to be, let's just walk. Let's walk and talk. It's going to be more of those things where, hey, things are going to be going down and saying, this was probably not the best suited thing for you.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
I mean, let's be realistic. Let's not lie. So take a listen to this. Country singer Zach Bryan deactivated his X account after drunkenly sharing a post aimed at Taylor Swift and Kanye West. The post read, Eagles, Chiefs, Kanye, Taylor, followed by Who's With Me. After being met with Swift's backlash, Bryan issued an apology on Instagram, writing that he was drunkenly comparing two records and it all came out wrong. He then clarified that he is a fan of Swift and didn't want to discredit her talent with a stupid tweet. So there you go. Also, just days after canceling their tour, Jane's Addiction quietly released a new single titled True Love. The track of the icon is ironic as less than a week ago, the band Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro got into an altercation mid-show. This was the band's first tour in 14 years. I'm just asking, what do you think's going to happen here? Because some people say that it's staged. I don't know. Who knows these days? I look at it all as almost like professional wrestling. Everything's fucking staged. So there you go. So what do you think? I just look at it and go, what's going to happen? It's going to be interesting because now we're talking about the single. Did you care about the single before then? If you did, cool. If you didn't, that's cool too. So anyways, earlier I talked about that there was the new rollout of what the hell was going on in SNL. So let's talk about this. The first round of hosts for season 50 of SNL are September the 28th, Gene Smart with Jelly Roll. And let's see, October the 5th, Nate Bargatze with Coldplay. On October the 12th, Ariana Grande with Stevie Nicks. October the 19th, Michael Keaton with Billie Eilish. On November the 2nd, John Mulaney with Chappelle Brown. So there you go. First-timers include Gene Smart, Jelly Roll, and Chappelle Brown. The rest are all returning to the series. So there you go. I don't know if you care about this stuff. I mean, I'm just telling you what's going on. Because some people are very, very, very big into this show. So let's talk about this because for some reason, some outlets are talking about this and some outlets are not. And I will tell you, the people that do some of the writing stuff for what we have going on, they're kind of like itsy bitsy spider went down the water spout. And we guys are talking about this stuff. So let's talk about it. A docuseries about the downfall of Sean Combs is in the work from Investigation Discovery. The not yet titled project will explore the allegations of violent behavior and illegal activity that have trailed the music mogul, as an account of sexual assault, abusive behavior, and other disturbing claims have surfaced, according to the press release. The project will premiere next year. So, do you think that it's going to premiere during his whole trial sequence? Because that's what it sounds like. So, a docuseries of the rise and fall of Sean Diddy Combs is in the works, as I said, but it's from the same producers that did Quiet on the Set. The news was announced the day after the music mogul was formally charged with racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution. I want to understand that one better. Transportation to engage in prostitution. I'm kind of curious on that charge because I don't really understand it, so maybe I'll look that up. According to the press release, the current untitled project will explore the allegations of violent behavior and illegal activity that trailed the music mogul, as the account of sexual assault, abusive behavior, and other disturbing claims surface. The doc traces the story of the self-proclaimed bad boy. Yeah, that was the name of his company, or his record company. I know, not probably the best thing to have. Unveiling allegations of the pattern of depravity after the indictment was unsealed on Tuesday. Combs pleaded not guilty during a Manhattan hearing and was denied bail, and he will remain in federal custody pending the outcome of his trial. If convicted, Combs faces a mandatory minimum, the least sentence of 15 years and potential life in prison. So the indictment alleged that Combs had been violent, abusive, and coercive towards women for many years, including orchestrating multi-day freak-offs, which was the name of what he called his parties, that forced women to engage in sexual acts with male sex workers, sometimes on camera. Other allegations included hitting, kicking, and dragging women by their hair, as well as instances of kidnapping at gunpoint and setting fire to someone's car. Under Mother-Love Cocktail Combs, lawyers Mark Arcadio has announced that he asserts that his client's innocent, and that said that on Tuesday that they appealed the decision to deny bail. The docuseries will feature on interviews which alleged victims include in-depth reporting of Rolling Stone, as well as archival footage alongside Maxi's production, IPC production, in association with Rolling Stone Films. The project is set to premiere in 2025 or on ID and on Max. Here's my only thing. Some of this stuff has been said that the people have it was relationships that were consensual. Well, I don't know about you, but I have never consented to being in a relationship with someone where they could kick me and punch me in the face. I don't know. Have you? I mean, I've went to martial arts classes where I've consented to that, but I've never been in a relationship, a romantic relationship, sexual relationship, whatever kind of relationship you want to name here, where I said, hey, yeah, just beat me up, man, because this sounds like a good idea. I mean, I don't know what the hell people are thinking.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
You know that I did not mean to hit main story. I meant to hit this.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Israel's military says its air force hit around 100 Hezbollah rocket launchers and other infrastructure in overnight airstrikes on Lebanon. It follows a remote attack targeting pagers and walkie-talkies this week, which Hezbollah has blamed on Israel. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy is calling for an immediate ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah.
We are all very, very clear that we want to see a negotiated political settlement so that Israelis can return to their homes in northern Israel, and indeed Lebanese can return to their homes.
Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah has blamed Israel for the attacks targeting electronic devices, calling them a massacre that crossed a red line. European Union and Chinese trade representatives have agreed to intensify efforts to resolve a dispute over electric vehicles. The EU imposed tariffs of up to 35% on EVs from China, accusing Beijing of imposing unfair subsidies and flooding the European market. William Denzelo reports from Brussels.
According to a European Commission spokesperson, Europe's Trade Commissioner reaffirmed that its investigation into Chinese EVs is fact-based and in full compliance with World Trade Organization rules. China says the tariffs on its electric vehicles is a protectionist policy that will harm Europe's green transition. Beijing subsequently launched probes into European brandy, dairy and pork markets. Commission officials say that move is unwarranted and lacks sufficient evidence. European powers will soon vote on whether to make the EV tariffs permanent for the next 5 years. Against that backdrop, China and the EU trade delegations have agreed to put maximum effort towards finding a mutually agreeable solution.
Doctors in the East Indian city of Kolkata who've been protesting over the brutal rape and murder of a young medic there will partially resume service this weekend after a 41-day strike. They say some of their demands have been met, but their broader fight for justice continues until perpetrators are punished. Ishan Garg reports.
The junior doctors will resume emergency services after the West Bengal state government agreed to a majority of their demands. It included better safety protocols in hospitals and transferring government officials who are being accused of negligence in the wake of the sexual assault case in August. The doctors say they are not yet resuming all medical services, but will set up medical camps in the state that's battling flood-like situations. The rape of a young medic in the East Indian city of Kolkata had sparked nationwide outrage. The Federal Investigative Agency has arrested who they call the main accused and says an investigation is on. The doctors say they could be forced to agitate again if the perpetrators are not punished soon.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, rounding out the week with a bombshell in the world of business. Tupperware, the iconic American producer of plastic food containers that found instant popularity from the 1950s onwards, has filed for bankruptcy protection amid slumping sales and mounting losses. The company first found fortune by persuading its salespeople, often American housewives themselves, to host Tupperware parties where they would engage in efforts to sell the company's products to their friends and neighbours. But the world has moved on, according to Maggie Harrop, the owner of Tupperware World, the largest retailer of the products in the UK.
It's surprising, but not surprising in a way, because I know we used to have Tupperware parties and everything, but since the COVID times, the method of sales is more into online, and obviously because there is the younger generations doesn't really know what Tupperware is. It's like, oh, my mom used to have Tupperware and things like that. So it's like, oh, my cupboard is actually still full of Tupperware products that belongs to my parents and things like that.
The company is straining under $812 million in debt. Lenders pushed the company into the arms of bankruptcy administrators in the United States. It plans to continue operating and will, over the next 30 days, seek a buyer to lead Tupperware into the future, if it can find one. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, Israel says it's hit around 100 Hezbollah targets in overnight airstrikes on Lebanon. Hezbollah's chief Hassan Nasrallah has blamed Israel for attacks on electronic devices, saying they crossed a red line. EU and Chinese trade representatives have agreed to intensify efforts to resolve a dispute over EVs, and Indian doctors in Kolkata who've been protesting over the rape and murder of a young medic will partially resume service this weekend. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. A non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors LLC and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
Jay Allen in the morning, weekdays on Radio Big.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' best life insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm. Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK. I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
They're good. They're very funny.
They're hilarious. They just be whoever they want to be.
It's just really funny.
Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, 44 minutes past the top of the hour. Yeah, still listening to the Rated R Safety Show. This right here, closing in. IOM. Songs readily available on Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music. No, like seriously, readily available. You know how it goes around here. We like playing it all. That's what we do. So there you go. Thanks to IOM for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Always a good time when we get to play some música for you. No doubt about that. Anyways, let's get moving and grooving into our next little venture here of the things that are going on this network. And let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And people at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com. That's To Write Love on Her Arms. Once you get there, go all the way to the far right-hand side, click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there'll be a plethora of information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few things. Now, as I like to say, it might not be something that you need, but it might be good information to have to help others. You never know when this information might come up. You never know on when something like this might be needed, because these are always the important things to discuss. And I think that sometimes we tend to forget those things. So TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. That will get you moving and grooving. That is for sure. So there you go. TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. Okay, so let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the multiverse. Not necessarily the multiplex, but the multiverse. Anyways, Netflix saw the invasion, the British invasion in the first 6 months of the year, with 4 of its 10 largest show globally in the first half of 2024 from the UK. Fool Me Once, the Emmy Award-winning Baby Reindeer, The Gentleman, and One Day. In addition, Shonda Rhimes' Bridgerton, season 3 set the UK was the number 2 most watched show worldwide from January to June. The season scored a whopping 92 million views in less than 2 months following its May 14th premiere. Shows of Bridgerton universe garnered 189 million views in the first half of 2024. Queen Charlotte, A Bridgerton Story, saw 24 million views off the season. 1 and 2 jumped 5-fold. So there you go. I don't know. I mean, do you watch these shows? I mean, it's okay to watch them. So there you go. Take a listen to this. Ellen DeGeneres has unveiled the first trailer for her trailer For Your Approval, her final stand-up special, which premieres on Netflix on Tuesday. As the trailer opens, she says she wants to catch up with you, and she has been doing, and what she has been doing lately. DeGeneres announced that she has taken up gardening, and oh yeah, I got kicked out of show business. She goes on to being discussed as labeled as the kind of girl that wasn't kind, saying, "Here's the problem. I ended the show every day by saying, be kind to one another. Had I ended the show by saying, fuck you, know what? Yourselves." So there you go. People would have been pleasantly surprised to find out I'm kind. So I don't know. It's interesting, for sure. So do you really think that this will be her last thing? Her last hurrah, if one may say so in that particular fashion? I don't know. These things get all weird to me, because people go into these mortgage boards of weirdness. No doubt about that. Anyways, with that being said, let's bring some John Smalls into our life and let him tell us about what the hell is going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Cole. Hannah Arndt said, "This constant lying is not aimed at making people believe a lie, but at ensuring that no one believes anything anymore. A people that can no longer distinguish between truth and lies cannot distinguish between right and wrong. And such a people, deprived of the power to think and judge, is, without knowing and willing it, completely subjected to the rule of lies. With such a people, you can do whatever you want." Wow, what a quote. You might think this was on social media, but Hannah Arndt died in 1975, so this has been going on way longer than we might have thought. Now with AI, I can no longer believe what I see or what I hear. So what can we believe? And more importantly, who can we believe now?
The Motivation Minute.
Today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. Have you found yourself overreacting to the situations in your life? Becoming angry or bursting into tears? The world is full of people just like you. People whose emotional responses are disproportionate to the events that triggered them. As embarrassing and painful as these outbursts may be, they can be redemptive too. The key is to invite the Holy Spirit to show you why such insignificant issue triggers so much emotion. Once He has revealed the root cause, invite the Lord Jesus to heal your wounded soul. Lord Jesus, deliver us from yesterday's hurts, lest they ruin today. In your holy name we pray. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Israel's military says its air force hit around 100 Hezbollah rocket launchers and other infrastructure in overnight airstrikes on Lebanon. It follows a remote attack targeting pagers and walkie-talkies this week, which Hezbollah has blamed on Israel. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy is calling for an immediate ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah.
We are all very, very clear that we want to see a negotiated political settlement so that Israelis can return to their homes in northern Israel and indeed Lebanese can return to their homes.
Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah has blamed Israel for the attacks targeting electronic devices, calling them a massacre that crossed a red line. European Union and Chinese trade representatives have agreed to intensify efforts to resolve the dispute over electric vehicles. The EU imposed tariffs of up to 35% on EVs from China, accusing Beijing of imposing unfair subsidies and flooding the European market. William Denzelo reports from Brussels.
According to a European Commission spokesperson, Europe's Trade Commissioner reaffirmed that its investigation into Chinese EVs is fact-based and in full compliance with World Trade Organization rules. China says the tariffs on its electric vehicles is a protectionist policy that will harm Europe's green transition. Beijing subsequently launched probes into European brandy, dairy and pork markets. Commission officials say that move is unwarranted and lacks sufficient evidence. European powers will soon vote on whether to make the EV tariffs permanent for the next 5 years. Against that backdrop, China and the EU trade delegations have agreed to put maximum effort towards finding a mutually agreeable solution.
Doctors in the East Indian city of Kolkata who've been protesting over the brutal rape and murder of a young medic there will partially resume service this weekend after a 41-day strike. They say some of their demands have been met, but their broader fight for justice continues until perpetrators are punished. Ishan Garg reports.
The junior doctors will resume emergency services after the West Bengal state government agreed to a majority of their demands. It included better safety protocols in hospitals and transferring government officials who are being accused of negligence in the wake of the sexual assault case in August. The doctors say they are not yet resuming all medical services, but will set up medical camps in the state that's battling flood-like situations. The rape of a young medic in the East Indian city of Kolkata had sparked nationwide outrage. The Federal Investigative Agency has arrested who they call the main accused and says an investigation is on. The doctors say they could be forced to agitate again if the perpetrators are not punished soon.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Warning. Listening to other radio stations could cause testicle shrinkage.
I'm talking the truth. Okay, there you go. 55 minutes past the top of the hour. Here you go. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. I want to talk about two things real quick. In 2001, President George W. Bush addresses Congress and the nation in his first major address since 9/11 attacks. The president declares war on terrorism around the world in all of its forms and against all of its allies. He promised the fight would be long and costly. At the time, his approval rating hits record highs. That happened back in 2001. And then in 2011, the U.S. ends the don't ask, don't tell policy. The move allows gay men and women to serve openly in the military for the first time. That happened back in 2011. If you're looking at some birthdays for today, here we go. Trevin Diggs turns 26. Sammy Harchere turns 29. Philip Phillips, 34. John Tavares turns 34 as well. Khalid Nurmagomedov turns 36. Young Jock turns 44. Kristen Johnson, 57. Debbie Morgan, 68. George R.R. Martin, 76. Chuck Panonzo turns 76. And Sophia Loren, oh yes, she turned 70 today. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, we got a list. My name is Jay Allen, and you just made the list. Anyways, National Fried Rice Day, National Pepperoni Pizza Day, National Tradeism Men Day, International Ganache Day, National Queso Day, Raspberry Day, National Consumption Awareness Day, 4 p.m. Finish Day, National Care for Kids Day, National World Paella Day, National Punch Day, and I hope it's talking about punch, like the drink punch, not like punch, you know what I'm saying? And National String Cheese Day. So there you go. That's some stuff to celebrate if you're so inclined to do so. Also, Transformers 1 opens today, the untold origin story of Optimus Prime and the Megatron sworn enemies for once and friends who changed the fate of Cybertron forever. Also, The Substance gets released today. A fading celebrity decides to use the black market for drugs. A cell replacing substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of themselves. I want to see that one. That's the newest one with Demi Moore. Also, Never Late Go. A family has been haunted by an evil spirit for years. Their safety and their surroundings come into question. And one of the children questions if evil is real. That comes out this weekend as well. So there you go. If you need a random joke for today, I have one of those for you. Of course I do, because why would I not have that? So let's talk about that. Before we do any more work on artificial intelligence, shouldn't someone do something about the natural stupidity? Just saying. Also, if you need a phone starter, try this. What fun fall things are you looking forward to do? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. 28% of us agreed this food instantly makes you feel better. What is it? Cake. Oh, yeah. I love me some cake. That's for sure. Think about that for a moment. Anyway, so that's going to sum up our time together. Thanks for hanging out with me on this lovely Friday. So let's see. Over the next couple hours, I'll be going over to radiobig.fm. If you want to come and hang out with me, that's perfectly fine. All you have to do is go over to radiobig.fm. We'll talk about the world of music and the world of entertainment. If not, you can hang out here on Safety FM and hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. So there you go. There you go. That's it. Thanks for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it makes no sense to do what we do around here. That is for sure. Anyways, with that being said, if I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. Just because you are happy, it does not mean the day is perfect, but you have looked beyond the imperfections. That's something to think about. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.